Back in the days of Pokemon Black and White, Ash faced off against his rival Cameron during the Unova League Top 8. This battle is one of the most infamous in the entire Pokemon anime for various reasons. We have a mid-battle evolution for Cameron's Riolu into Lucario, which led to Lucario sweeping the rest of Ash's team. We have what is probably the most disrespectful knockout for any of Ash's Pokemon, being on Ash's Unpheasant, and then there's the notoriously frustrating fact that Ash lost to Cameron when he only brought 5 Pokemon to a full 6-on-6 battle. Ugh, what was this guy doing? But today I pose the question, could Ash have won this battle? He absolutely should have won, but then again, his Unova team wasn't the best and many Pokemon weren't fully evolved. Cameron had a very solid roster of Pokemon on his team, which included Unova's pseudo-legendary being Hydreigon and decent coverage as well, but Ash by this point in the anime was pretty much back to his old self in terms of battling. So let's construct Ash's best team to use against Cameron given the Pokemon he had available at the time. We'll use any Pokemon that Ash can recall from Professor Oak's lab for this battle to give Ash the best chance at defeating Cameron. Let's get started. As we create Ash's best team for Cameron, we'll be taking into account all the typings on Cameron's team, and I mean every member, since during his battle against Virgil, it was revealed that Cameron also owned a Watchog as well. So Cameron's actual full team is Samurott, Ferrothorn, Swanna, Hydreigon, Lucario, and Watchog, which gives him the typings of Water, Grass, Steel, Flying, Dark, Dragon, Fighting, and Normal on his team. So we'll need to give Ash Pokemon that can counter these typings and various dual typings as well. I also think it's important to go over the Pokemon that Ash originally used against Cameron, which were Oshawott, Boldore, Pignite, Snivy, Unpheasant, and of course Pikachu. Boldore was able to help with him countering Hydreigon, Pignite was able to help with Hydreigon and Ferrothorn, Snivy's Grass type helps against Samurott, Unpheasant's Flying type ideally should have helped more with Riolu, and Pikachu of course is a great match for Samurott and Swanna. The only Pokemon on this team that had no real advantage was Oshawott, so like why was it even here? Beats me, this is Black and White after all. Ash's team wasn't the worst, but he could have created a better lineup, so let's begin by discussing our team's headliner, Pikachu. Ash's Pikachu of course wasn't going to miss out on a spot on the team. From day one, Pikachu has shown incredible power and spirit, which was on full display during its battle against Lucario. Pikachu managed to take down both Cameron's Samurott and Swanna during this fight, and it by far put in the most work, and its resilience and determination to keep on fighting against Cameron's Lucario was so admirable. So like, how the did it lose? Like, why did the writers decide to give the plot armor to Cameron? Like, bruv, this was ridiculous, I can't... Moving on to Pikachu's moveset, we have Thunderbolt, Electro Ball, Iron Tail, and Quick Attack. Pikachu is known for being a speedy attacker on Ash's teams throughout his travels, and Thunderbolt and Electro Ball give it the upper hand against Samurott and Swanna, so it would easily defeat them again. However, with the rest of the lineup we have, I don't believe Pikachu would need to have 2 battles in a row against Cameron's water types. When going up against Lucario, Pikachu was still pretty exhausted from its previous bouts during this match. I think this greatly affected Pikachu's overall performance against Cameron's Lucario. Maybe if it hadn't used so much energy earlier in the battle, it would have been able to tough it out a little longer, or at the very least, dodge Lucario's final Aura Sphere attack. And as we've seen in the past with this Pokemon, taking down the likes of Brendan's Regice and Tobias's Latios, this little electric mouse is more than capable of handling any challenge that Cameron throws at Ash. Pikachu was definitely the MVP of this battle, and with him being Ash's iconic #1 partner, he had to be here on the team. The next Pokemon on our squad is Ash's Pignite. Pignite was the second most valuable team member during Ash's battle against Cameron. Pignite was Ash's 3rd Pokemon, which he used to take down Cameron's Hydreigon, using its Fire-type attacks, but especially Brick Break since Hydreigon is a Dark-type. Pignite was able to defeat this powerful pseudo-legendary Pokemon using its Fighting-type attacks. Its moveset here was Flamethrower, Flame Charge, Fire Pledge, and Brick Break. While it may only have Stab on its 2 typings, Flame Charge can at least increase Pignite's speed to deal with faster opponents, and Fire Pledge can be used to trap opponents. Beyond this, however, Pignite is really only here to handle Cameron's Hydreigon again, and also Ferrothorn. It would definitely be able to put in the work again to handle Cameron's Pokemon again, but this time if he calls back Pignite after battling Hydreigon, he could potentially save it for later to help whittle down Lucario's stamina. Letting Pignite rest first instead of doing 2 battles back to back would give Ash a better chance of defeating Lucario, or at least making it an easier victory by using Pignite's Fire-type attacks against Lucario. Having access to to Brick Break also lets it deal with Cameron's Watchog as well, making Pignite the only Pokemon here who can deal with half of Cameron's team. And I know Pignite has the guts to tough it out against Cameron because it had a very notable win in the Burbank City Gym against Roxy's Scolipede, scoring a win by finishing it off with Fire Pledge, even while being poisoned. And let's not forget how strong Roxy is, since she let Ash use a full team of 6 while she only used 3 Pokemon because she was just that powerful. So Pignite has the strength we need here and would stay as a part of the team. Team member number 3 is where we begin to significantly change the lineup on Ash's team, as our third member is Donphan. Donphan provides the ground typing to the team, and its durability and resilience would be great to have. Now, Donphan's ground typing alone doesn't help much as Cameron doesn't own any electric type Pokemon. However, with its moves of Rollout, Takedown, Hyper Beam, and Defense Curl, it can keep taking hits, stand up to Ferrothorn and Samara with Takedown and Rollout, and deal super effective damage to Swanna with Rollout. I could see Donphan using its speedy Rollout attack to circle around Cameron's Pokemon and avoid various attacks. It could also spin and use its body in that way to deflect attacks the same way it's done in previous battles, and the most recent example of this being in Aim to be a Pokemon Master Episode 1. Donphan packs a mighty punch, and let's not forget that this Pokemon was so strong that Ash had the confidence to use it in the battle frontier against Pike Queen Lucy. Even with the type advantage, Lucy's Seviper proved to be a formidable challenger for Ash's Donphan, but after integrating Seviper's Flamethrower attack with its Rollout attack, it was able to increase the damage output and defeat her Seviper, truly proving how strong this Pokemon is. Donphan would then return in the Sinnoh League, and while its performance in the Sinnoh League wasn't as great as its Battle Frontier performance, it's still a strong Pokemon. That's also the main reason I'm choosing Donphan, so it can get redemption for losing at the Sinnoh League. The rest of the team consists of Pokemon that not only pack lots of power along with the type advantage against Cameron's team, but they're also Pokemon who need to redeem themselves after losing in the Sinnoh League. Let's see what other Pokemon will accompany Pikachu, Pignite, and Donphan on this team. Next up, we have Swellow, one of Ash's strongest regional birds and an absolute GOAT. Since we're not using Unpheasant on this team, since it was horribly disrespected by Cameron's Riolu, we're gonna need a different flying type that can get the job done. Swellow has some serious guts that were on full display throughout the entirety of the Advanced Generation series, and even in the Sinnoh League when Ash pitted it against Tobias's Latios, and Swellow was ready to throw down. Even beginning from a small Taillow, this bird had heart and courage. It simply refused to be caught easily by Ash and made him and Pikachu work for that capture. It didn't matter if it was Thunderbolt or Thunder, Taillow was taking those attacks and continuing to fight. And this resilient spirit would shine immensely in Ash's Moss Deep City gym battle against Tate and Liza, where he would use the insanely busted and ludicrous Thunder Armor tactic with Pikachu and Swellow. But Swellow's power doesn't stop there, as it was able to go head to head with Winona's Shiny Swellow in the Fortree City gym battle while being hit with Aerial Ace and Hyper Beam and being thrown off balance. It would then go on to learn Aerial Ace itself and deliver an underwater Aerial Ace attack against Juan. Then in the Hoenn League, it would straight up stop a rolling Donphan in its tracks with its talons. I'm telling you, Ash's Swellow is built different. Swellow would definitely not allow Cameron's Riolu to toss it like a pillow, and winning here would allow it to redeem itself for its Sinnoh League loss, even though it lost to a Latios, which is understandable. With its speed and power, Swellow would be a key member in defeating Cameron. Its moves are Aerial Ace, Quick Attack, Double Team, and Wing Attack, and this allows it to deal with Cameron's Lucario and Ferrothorn, but I'm sure it'd also be able to go head to head in the skies with Swanna and Hydreigon too. At number 5, we have Ash's Torkoal, a Pokemon full of emotions but plenty of power as well. Torkoal is a pretty underrated Pokemon among Ash's other Pokemon, as it's mainly known for either not being the greatest battler or being a big crybaby, but Torkoal is just really emotional and cares a lot about its friends. It can be very prideful, and like Ash's other Hoenn Pokemon, it has a wonderful fighting spirit. Its moveset is Iron Defense, Heat Wave, Flamethrower, and Body Slam. This moveset helps it battle against Cameron's Ferrothorn and Lucario, in case at any point Pignite goes down in battle and Ferrothorn and Lucario are still able to battle. Torkoal is a great second choice to handle them. This may give Ash 2 fire types, but at least one is also a fighting type in the case of Pignite. Torkoal also has a defensive move in Iron Defense, allowing it to take more hits, in contrast to Pignite simply having all attacking moves. Torkoal will also be able to redeem itself from losing to Tobias's Darkrai, but again, that was a mythical Pokemon, so it's understandable. But Torkoal also has the strength to back up its presence on the team. During the Battle Frontier arc, Ash had 3 separate battles against Pyramid King Brandon. Torkoal was used during the second battle, going one-on-one against his Registeel. Torkoal really showed off its stuff during the battle, exchanging blows with Registeel, making it stumble, creating a flaming sandstorm vortex by using Heat Wave, and gaining more momentum to make its Body Slam even more powerful. Torkoal put in work against Registeel. So be it that it can go toe-to-toe with legendary Pokemon, it can definitely take on Cameron. Now, before we get into the last team member here, I do want to go over some honorable mentions, since really almost any of Ash's older Pokemon would do better against Cameron than his Unova Pokemon, but I want to take the time to highlight Crocodile, Leavanny, and Scraggy. Scraggy's fighting typing, mainly with moves like High Jump Kick and Focus Blast, would have been great to use against Cameron's Hydreigon and Ferrothorn, and they also work great against his Watchog too. It stands just as good a chance as Oshawa or Snivy. Leavanny is fully evolved just like Unpheasant, and was a key battler in Ash's battle against Stefan in the round prior. Energy Ball and Razor Leaf would have helped greatly against Samurott, and String Shot would have helped in maybe taking down Swanna or Hydreigon from the air to land attacks. As for Crocodile, it's his Unova Ace, the strongest Pokemon he had on his Unova team, and had the best moveset, being Dragon Claw, Aerial Ace, Stone Edge, and Dig. These moves would have done immense damage to Cameron's team, and maybe just 2 Dragon Claws would have been enough to take out Cameron's Hydreigon, and it's even beaten a pseudo-legendary dragon Pokemon before, being Iris's Dragonite. However, I can understand why Ash opted to not use Leavanny and Crocodile, since they did just battle in the round prior. If these battles take place in the same day, which I doubt they do, then these Pokemon would be in no condition to battle, but maybe even the next day they still need more time to recover. As for veteran Pokemon, I think Pokemon like Staraptor, Gible, Gliscor, Heracross, and Bulbasaur would have been fantastic options to use against Cameron. But now let's see what the final team member here is. And now we've saved the best for last, as our final team member is Torterra. I have been waiting to be able to add Torterra to one of the best teams for Ash. Torterra gives us the Grass Ground typing. It may overlap with Donphan, but the Grass type is what we're mainly concerned with here. Torterra would be a better Grass type to use than Snivy, with more bulk, power, and battling experience. Torterra may get a lot of slack for being slower than it was as a Turtwig, being not as useful in battle, or the fact that it didn't get many wins after evolving from Grottle, but this is still an incredibly strong Pokemon with tons of power. Torterra's moveset is Leaf Storm, Energy Ball, Rock Climb, and Synthesis. These moves allow it to regain health when the time is right against Cameron, although maybe not, since Ash and Cameron kinda just called attacks as if they were button mashing moves in Smash Bros. Torterra can use Leaf Storm and Energy Ball to take down Samurott, and Rock Climb can be used on any team member to take them down, and I would just love to see this awesome animation again. Torterra has also shown its battling prowess time and time again, from dealing the final blow to Rourke's Rampardos in Ash's Orberg City Gym battle, to being able to match its power against Tower Tycoon Palmer's Rhyperior and Elite Four Bertha's Hippowdon. Torterra may have lost some battles, but it was always up against super strong opponents, and it put in lots of work before fainting. Even going up against opponents later on like Volknor's Electivire or Paul's Drapion in the Sinnoh League. Let Ash have Torterra hit the battlefield and it'll take care of Cameron's team. This time around, Ash will definitely beat Cameron if he uses the optimized team we have here, being Pikachu, Pignite, Donphan, Swellow, Torkoal, and Torterra. Pikachu and Pignite would be MVPs just like before, and even more so Pignite since it can deal with half of Cameron's team. The other team members all provide incredible fighting spirit and heart to the team that will definitely give Cameron a run for his money. There's no way that Cameron's Pokemon would be able to stand up to this unit of a team. But this is just the lineup of Pokemon that I created for Ash. What do you think is Ash's best team to use against Cameron in the Unova League? Let me know in the comments and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Until next time, continue to train hard, and I'll catch you guys later.